Hi, how is everyone? I hope everyone can hear me. Welcome to Nairobi CLC around Team 24 event. And I would love to welcome you all. Just to notify you when I'll be presenting. I might not be able to see the chat. And I'm assuming for all the speakers, but don't be shy to drop your questions and we'll get into them or any comment that you have. Also, feel free to tell us where you're joining us from on the chat so that we can be able to interact, network, and make this an awesome event as usual. Also, feel free to enable your video where possible and say hi. Yeah, so if you can see me, say hi on the chat and then you will start. Yes, if you can see me and hear me, yes, say hi. Hi from Nairobi. Very nice. Thank you so much. Perfect. Right, I see everyone can hear me and see me. Thank you so much. Yeah, so welcome to Team 24 Atlassian Community-led Conference in Nairobi. So if you have not joined us, feel free to follow that link and you'll be able to see our community, join as a member. If you are a repeat for these events, it will be good for you to join us as a member. Given at the end, we'll be raffling a few tickets for the Atlassian certification, as well as some virtual giveaway. So please make sure that you've joined so that we can refer to your email to send you those gift cards. So my name is Michael Kimathi. I lead the Nairobi chapter, and I've been doing this for the last 8 years. And one of the things that I've loved about this community, it's always a vibe. It's always it has embedded the community aspect in it, whereby members are always, there for each other, as well as we strive to share knowledge. And we have grown really from nothing to where we are right now. And thanks to every single member that has joined us. So a couple of steps to take if this is your first time, join the chapter. That is Atlassian Community Nairobi. We'd love to hear from you, especially after every event and also through the online community. We'll be sharing that later. Also, if you want to say something, raise up your hand. You'll be allowed to ask any question that you have, or if you want to, comment or give feedback. Also, striving to build an awesome community. So if this is your first time, feel at home. Each one of us here, including myself, there was that first day that I joined the community. And then, of course, I'm here and people know me. So don't be shy to, say hi, even if it's just virtually, and to get to know a few people. So a little background about us. For the last 8 years, we've grown to over 5,000 members. We have hosted over 194 events in total. This will be our 195th event. And we have accumulatively gotten over 19,151 RSVPs. And 54% of that of that number as checked in, that means you have met in person. One interesting aspect about these numbers is that also we have some numbers who actually come for the event, or they are members on Meetup, but they're not members on the community platform. So I'd encourage you once again to join through the link indicated there, that is ace.atlassian.com/Nairobi. And this will be a great experience for you going forward. So we have a lined up of speakers. We have two of the speakers, Anmol and Danny, joining us live from Amsterdam and Australia. They would love to be here in person, but it never materialized. So bear with us for today. But the experience has been curated to be as the same as them joining us in person. So not to worry on that. Also, given the circumstances that we had, also Raphael and Karina had a live recorded session through Loom, which is part of Atlassian tools. They tried to make it as interactive as possible, and all the question and feedback that you have will reach them. So check out on that. And also we'll have some interesting interludes between speakers, play a few videos about new products or experience for Team 24. Let's talk a bit about Atlassian community events. Mostly they're curated for users, by users. They're supposed to be led by us as members. And these events are for, you as a Atlassian user to share your experience on how you use the tools and the platform. Leaders set to, we all normally set the agenda based on the needs and interest of the community members. So that's why after every event, the feedback we give, we're able to curate and see where to improve over time. Of recent past, especially after 2020, we have seen a lot of Atlassian community events happening virtually, in person, or hybrid. And they cover a variety of topics, including products, practices, and building professional skills, as well as social events where people just network. So if you are part of this community, you'll realize you also share events that are hosted virtually somewhere else, so that you can be able to enjoy the same experience that everyone else is enjoying, and add an asset of knowledge in your toolbox. Over time, across the world, at least for the last year alone, there have been 920 community events that have been hosted. And since this number has reduced, there have been 556,000 RSVPs coming just last year alone. And this is a testimony that the efforts that members assisted by leaders ensure that when you bring up +1, actually means a big deal for this person who comes the first time and contributes to this number, because they get access to other members as well as the experience. So in that line, Atlassian has extended this experience, and right now we are hosting 20 cities. The same event that is happening in 20 cities. 3 of those will be virtual, but the others, there will be Atlassian going there in person, as I mentioned earlier. And it's just to extend the Team 24 experience. And Nairobi was chosen amongst those cities. That's why we're having this event. And the reason why this is happening is that to create the same experience, so that whenever whichever city you are in, because also you have Nairobi members who have moved to Berlin or Amsterdam, you can be able to go and experience the same experience that other cities are experiencing, but also the Team 24 experience, as well as get some of the announcements that were made in Team 24. Also, there is the online community that I encourage all of you to join, whereby we have over 19 million unique visitors every day, every single day, and accumulatively 54,000 questions, which are asked every other day, and 75,000 answers that are provided. So there have been 41% answered question by community leaders. And of course, the rest are either answered by community, Atlassian partners, as well as Atlassians. So it's a great place when you're stuck, you can actually, ask some of these questions and you'll get answers straight from the product leads from Atlassian, as well as experts across the world. So that's a place also to grow when we're not having an event, and then on Saturdays when we have the event, or maybe other day that you have in-person event, we can always curate some of those questions and be able to share over time. Also, you're encouraged to answer questions that you have answers for when you join this online community. And also there is an opportunity open there that I'll be talking about later. So with the online community, there is improved accessibility, updated navigation, consolidated IA, kudos improvements, comment and join. For those who already have joined, you are familiar with what I'm talking about, but even for those who have not joined, you should be able to experience some of these improvements online. And in a nutshell, what this improvement means is that just to make sure that, when you're online, you have the same experience or maybe close experience to in-person. That is gamifying the whole process. Timestamp improvements, time zone settings, last updated feature, and much more, including the kudos program, which is very popular. Every time you answer a question, you get some kudos. So if someone accepts your answer, you get some kudos. Once you accumulate this, you grow up the ladder as a member. So here's the join link. So you can use this QR code to log into the community with the Bevy email and earn a special attendee badge. Bevy email, that means the email that you use to sign up as a member. And then you'll get some kudos badge and also a special attendee badge for this particular event. So I'll pause there for a few seconds for those who would like to scan the QR code. Okay. Also, you can become an online leader. This is an opportunity I was talking about. So if you like to you'll be active online, you can scan this QR code, check out the online community path to become an Atlassian VIP, use your knowledge to answer questions, and you'll be on the path to becoming a rising star, as well as become part of the community leadership program, which is run by Atlassian. So I'll also post a few seconds there so that you can join. Yeah, so also you can connect to the Atlassian community online if you join an online group. So Atlassian community Nairobi as an online group. Once you join the online, you can actually join this community in particular, among as many other. You can also explore the kudos program, as I mentioned earlier, where you earn points and rewards. You get recognized by your peers and the leader boards. Also, you can be an online leader, like the previous slide indicated. So you apply, and then Atlassian team will reach out to you and onboard you if you are a great fit, or they find you interesting to lead that program. So feel free, and everyone who applies, all the best. The big news for the community this year was the free training, which gives a flexible learning for all. And May 1st, that is last month, all of our new on-demand courses are 100% free for the community. And that is more than 60 hours of training covering over 250 plus unique topics are done by experts. So what is coming soon is a new and improved on-demand learning experience that will give you more control and make it easier to find the right content quickly. Here, it's in line with the new products as well as the cloud, expertise. Since there was a discontinuation of on-premise, move to data center and cloud, so there is a lot of revamp going on. So they will see more content being updated. So Here's a community video created for you. Let me know if you will hear the audio, or do I need to share again? Yeah, so that's an experience of Atlassian communities around the world, and I hope you enjoyed. Any question? Okay, no audio. Let me try and see if I can play that differently to get the audio. Perfect. We'll stop there and give a few moments for interaction as we load the next speaker. Unless there is a question, I would love to take it.
A way to collaborate because our teams are... Hi everyone, I'm Karina. I got solutions engineer here at Atlassian. I'm not able to be here live today. However, I'm super excited to give you some great announcements and latest updates from our big team conference in Las Vegas. Hi everyone. Hi everyone, I'm Karina Zweigert, Solutions Engineer here at Atlassian. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be here live today. However, I'm still super excited to give you some great announcements and latest updates from our big team conference in Las Vegas. So I'd like to focus on the Atlassian system of work and how we're shaping the future of teamwork and collaboration. So why are we talking about a system of work? Why or what kind of challenges are we facing? We at Atlassian believe that nowadays operating in a defined system of work is more important than ever. Looking at how new realities are shaping the way we work, how we're aligned, how we think, how we collaborate, many of you as our customers, but as well we here at Atlassian, need to answer similar questions. How do we make most out of generative AI? How can we use and leverage AI in the most smartest way that it will help us to work more smartly? How do we empower distributed teams to do their best work? Teams are spread all over. Our colleagues are also located in the US, they're located in Australia, and we need to manage a way to collaborate because our teams are distributed all over, especially given that there's so many tools and so much data is in silos available everywhere. If we're looking at our customers, you of course have Atlassian, but also Microsoft tools, Miro, Mural, Google, and this is just naming a few. So how can we connect the tool and data proliferation to drive holistic insights and ensure that information is not sprawled? What do we do to manage our ever-evolving security and compliance risks? And lastly, looking at the macroeconomic changes that are shaping market positioning, competitive advantages, how can we do more with less given all the economic pressures? Since 2001, Atlassian has been invested in developing the art and science of teamwork. We're working with our customers, but we're also learning from our own journey. And today, 20 years later, or more than 20 years later, we serve over 300,000 customers globally and continue to learn how the teamwork of tomorrow is going to change and also how it will innovate. And that also brings us to the point that we at Atlassian have realized teamwork goes way beyond software. Working in teams, especially working in teams at scale, requires behavioral shifts. It requires the adoption of certain practices. And yeah, that's also why we at Atlassian are invested in shaping the future of how team works together, how teams can work better together. And we also created an opinion of how we think teams will be most successful. We have teamwork futurists that look into trends and changes that will help us pioneer teamwork innovations of tomorrow. We have researchers, analysts, psychologists that are analyzing organizational psychology and are also studying and measuring how to unleash the potential of teams. And we have our teamwork playbooks that we provide tangible ways how to deal with dozens of different work scenarios, how to make better decisions, how to drive alignment, and all of that. And drawing from all that is helping us to get a perspective and therefore we created the Atlassian system of work. So we basically shaped a vision of how we at Atlassian want to help our customers to continue to unleash the potential of all of their teams. And the fundamental of this system of work is what we see, the teamwork foundations. We have learned that teams are the most successful if they're doing three things extraordinarily well. One is aligning work to goals across the organization and make goals visible. Two is to continuously plan and track work across the teams and also ensure that the work the team is doing are aligned to the set goals. And the third one is building, sharing, and harness knowledge to its full potential. So making sure that teams are unleashing all knowledge available in an organization and also make that knowledge accessible to everyone. Once these robust foundations are in place across an entire organization, then each team can further achieve their specific work to be done. So for example, product and development teams can discover new ideas and build software. IT and service teams can support employees and customers and also better respond to incidents, company and manage their portfolios and also optimize customer value. And today, Atlassian provides a portfolio of solutions in combination with our practices and playbooks that help you achieve this system of work in your organizations too. We believe that we can set up the teamwork foundations for all teams to achieve shared goals, shared knowledge, and shared progress. And that's why also I would like to focus on precisely the teamwork foundations and what has been announced at Team, that pillar of the system of work. But before, let's also make sure that we understand our solutions portfolio is all powered by the Atlassian Cloud Platform. We have a robust infrastructure, a shared data model secured by our highest security and compliance standards, continuously improving and enhancing. That's also one of the main drivers shaping the realities of today. So I'll definitely touch upon some news that happened in the regard on the security and compliance side as well. For now, as I said, let's focus on the teamwork foundations and how you can achieve clear goal alignment, visibility into planning and tracking work, and unleashing your knowledge. The first big step is that we have combined Jira Work Management and Jira software into one Jira. It's just Jira. It's a bit of a throwback alert. Learned that for the best collaboration, we need to combine the best of those worlds. Each teams prefer to visualize and organize work differently according to their needs, but bringing it all together into one Jira is basically what we heard from our customer. It's an easier way of creating faster and more flexible ways to manage the work. That's starting with bringing the list view to all our projects. We heard from our customers, especially the dev and IT teams that were working in the software projects in the past, that they wanted to have all these nice things that we were bringing into work management as well. So we don't only add the list view to the overall Jira, but also other views from that used to be work management will come there in the future too. In addition to that, there will be a lot of new enhancements, for example, using inline edits, making bulk edits in the list when multiple tickets need to be assigned to the same person. But also when, for example, your tasks need to be associated with a new goal. We are integrating goals directly into the platform. So you can track your goals right out of the Atlassian platform. As I stated in the beginning, one of the most important drivers to make teams successful is when they align their work to goals. So we decided to integrate goals into the platform. Research has shown that only 30% of people see the link between their work and the broader purpose. I personally find that quite shocking, as that also means 70% of your employees have no idea why they're doing the work that they are doing. And that, of course, has a big impact on their motivation, on their collaboration, their drive, and the way how they're actually accomplishing their work. We understand that goals must be visible at every single level, and that's also why we've made that decision to have goals as part of the platform. Every team can set their goals and have them visible everywhere, embedded in the platform, whether that is in Jira, as I've shown it now, or in Confluence, Product Discovery. Your goals will be visible everywhere in the platform and can also be used on every level of collaboration within your system of work. That also means we'll launch Atlassian Home. For those of you that have been using Atlas in the past or that tried out Atlas, these experiences look familiar. The goal directory is now being standardized as part of Atlassian Home and part of the platform. So anyone at any time can click into a goal and see who's delivering that goal, who's contributing to that goal, etc. And you also have the status reporting. They're basically becoming an integral part of the system of work. So you will have less surprises, full transparency, and of course, it matches the teamwork foundations of always tracking work and aligning it to the bigger picture, to the broader purpose. I also stated in the beginning that a big new reality is generative AI. We have made many announcements in that regard. One of my personal favorite is the new breakdown in Jira. So you can work breakdown in Jira. You can basically ask AI to help breaking down your epics into user stories or tasks into subtasks. So I always say, make AI usable in the best way possible, how it works for you. AI will not replace me, it will not replace any of us, but it will replace my annoying manual tasks and help me to use my capacity and my brain capacity in the best optimal way. For that, we have announced another 30 amazing new features and enhancements as part of Atlassian Intelligence in our cloud platform. So giving you a couple of examples that I believe are certainly fundamental for the successful and efficient teamwork, for example, helping you building automations with the help of AI. Using JQL, especially for business teams who cannot write complex Jira queries, use natural language and help AI or use AI to help you writing those queries, help you interpreting your data and reports in Atlassian Analytics, simple generative AI, rewriting your content, help you write emails. I use that a lot in the context of reshaping some emails that I need to write, but also writing content in Confluence. It really can help you to be faster and more efficient in that way. And this is just a few examples. There's definitely more to come as part of the Atlassian platform, as well as part of the Teamwork Foundations. We are entering an entire new space in AI as well, and announced Rovo, an entire new Atlassian solution that directly fits into the Teamwork Foundations, helping with shared challenges in every team across your entire organization. Rovo will be a knowledge discovery system and an enterprise search tool that will integrate various data sources also outside of Atlassian. So Atlassian Intelligence is really a platform capability, whereas Rovo will be a new Atlassian solution that will integrate as an enterprise search tool with all your data sources outside of Atlassian as well. So it will offer company-wide search for all your SaaS tools and company data. I've had so many customers asking me, oh, we have a lot of content in Confluence. We have some of our customers using Google Sheets. Here you go. Rovo will basically help you to filter your content via the apps that you're using and search in all of those. It will offer AI-powered contextual learning and chat capabilities, so you can create so-called Rovo agents that can be customized to any internal needs. They will basically take teamwork to the next level and also revolutionize collaboration in your companies, because those agents will take over tasks from you. And you can basically, do a lot of things with Rovo. It's currently on the waiting list to participate in our early access program, and I'm personally super excited. We have it already accessible in our internal systems. I find it super interesting, very inspiring, and I'm super excited for you to join in on the early access program there as well. Focusing on the Teamwork Foundations, we are also going to bring Loom into the platform. A lot of people sometimes have the thought when they're joining a meeting, oh, this meeting could have been an email. I guess all of you might have thought about that sentence in the past at some stage. Now instead, imagine that you could say, this meeting could have been a Loom, and it's still actually bringing value. For those that have not heard about Loom in the past, we acquired Loom last year in October, and we're adding it into the platform. It's basically a video recording platform, also with a couple of AI capabilities in there. We'll touch upon that just in a bit. But it's basically helping your teams that are spread across countries, spread across different time zones, or if some teams are working some days in the office, some days at home. So it's basically bringing distributed work together, and Loom is what we're seeing now as a reality of modern teams creating videos, kind of having less meetings than you needed to have before, because the work is shifting from synchronous to asynchronous collaboration, and really having an effective way of sharing what needs to be done, sharing in a collaborative way. So what we've seen is that Loom can really help you creating shared knowledge, shared progress across your teams without having that meeting overload. We have done an Atlassian survey, and it showed that Atlassians were able to have 29% fewer meetings. Atlassians feel 74% more efficient and 64% more connected. And I wanted to verify that a bit. I looked at my own statistics, and I can tell you that in the last month of April, apparently I've saved 45 meetings by watching Looms from my colleagues, creating them myself, and sharing them with our customers or with my internal stakeholders. So just by creating Loom videos and taking them, sharing them with my colleagues, having them comment or reach out to me afterwards via Slack, I eliminated about 45 meetings that could have been a Loom. Loom is now being integrated into the Atlassian platform. It also has a very rich AI. So with the transcript, you can, for example, directly create Jira tickets with the content like updates, ideas, decisions, etc. that you've potentially shared in your Loom. They can be directly merged into a Jira ticket. But you could also just enrich smart links or enrich your content using smart links that are embedding the Loom videos in your content. And yeah, the baseline of this is that important information that once required a meeting or a written update can be easily shared across your teams, time zones, without ever leaving the Atlassian Cloud platform. Having said that, we covered our teamwork foundations. We've looked into how to bring goals together, how to align work to your goals, how to create shared progress and updates, and also how to enhance knowledge and make knowledge accessible in your entire system of work. I also stated that I wanted to talk about security and compliance aspects, because this is really one of the biggest components for us at Atlassian, for our customers. We need to create a secure and compliant system of work for our customers. That's why I would also really like to give some attendance on that and also share what's been announced at Team in Las Vegas in that regard as well. So starting here with a bit of like history, if that's how we can name it. In 2018, we introduced Atlassian Access. Atlassian Access focused on identity and access management. It has since become one of our fastest growing products. Last year, we announced the early access program for Atlassian Beacon. Atlassian Beacon is or was our threat detection and response offering, and we had many customers participating. And since then, we've continued building more advanced data protection capabilities, such as data classification, data loss prevention, content scanning, and more. And today, to help you protect your organization, we are excited that we can combine all these different offerings into one single offering. It's called Atlassian Guard. It unifies existing access and beacon capabilities and also brand new data loss prevention functionality into one alone standing product. The aim of Guard is to maintain and strengthen your security posture with proactive controls and also enhanced visibility to identify and neutralize threats, keeping your data that's stored in the Atlassian platform even more secure, and handing over certain responsibility to you as our customers, that you have the oversight to protect your data even more. So our goal is to have proactive protection for your cloud data at a scale, also by enforcing security policies that prevent data misuse. You also will have detection capabilities. So for example, the detection of suspicious activity across Atlassian Cloud products with enhanced visibility to surface anomalous behavior or anomalous content scanning or content downloading quickly with having centralized insights and alerts. And respond, of course, giving you the possibility to respond to those threats before they become incidents by neutralizing those threats with, for example, suggested remediation while mitigating similar threats from recurring. So what does that actually mean? We'll have additional functionalities that will help you protect your data even more. Some of the functionalities are probably already known, such as seamless authentication and authorization. They were all part of the Atlassian Access solution. So having authentication policies, enforcing sign-on, skim provisioning. What we've also recently announced is external user security, mobile security controls. These are all controls part of Atlassian Access that were already protected. What we're adding now are preventative controls to protect sensitive data even more, such as data classification, and giving you the possibility to add data security policies. Now in the detection part, also not everything is unknown, especially with regard to the prevention of shadow IT or using organizational insights and audit logs. But what will be added here are, above all, things like content scanning, the analysis of abnormal behavior. So, for example, monitoring if admins or users' activities are suspicious. For example, if your users are exporting a lot of data from your instances, if admins are making classification changes, if anyone is logging in from suspicious IPs. So these are all monitoring capabilities that will be able as part of the detection capabilities of Guard. Some of the part that was already there in Access is, for example, product discovery, organizational insights, audit logs, as I've just mentioned, but you will add some additional functionalities such as the content scanning and activity detections. Now, let's say, okay, you have discovered a threat. How do you deal with such threats and how do you react appropriately? You will get dashboards as part of Guard where you can analyze the detected alerts. You can also create profiles and create actions based on them. So, for example, simplest way is to turn off the access and then invest and figure out, okay, do we actually need to create an incident ticket and forward that to our security support team? So really making sure that you have remediation recommendations and workflows set up for potential threats. And of course, in addition to all these native functionalities within Atlassian, we will also integrate Guard within your security portfolio. So you can seamlessly connect Atlassian Guard with the best-in-class security and policy management solutions that you potentially are already using and gain a centralized view of potential risks across your company by integrating with some themes like Splunk or Microsoft Defender and making sure that you have all your security enhanced in one single platform. Alongside these improvements, we've also built more privacy, scalability, and security controls for admins so that, you can also customize the Atlassian Cloud to the best how it fits your organization's needs. We made a lot of progress, especially in terms of data protection, scalability, and security controls. Just to name a few that were announced also at Team or were actually already coming out over the last year. We released 11 new data residency regions, and we offer now data residency for marketplace apps in the UI. One of our longest awaited feature requests, the custom domain feature request 6999, has been finally worked on. It's GA for JSM and for Jira and Confluence is currently in the early access program. We have announced that we will offer several sandboxes. Bring your own key was introduced, and to be honest, the list is long. There has been a lot of stuff announced, and I think it really shows how much importance Atlassian is giving into privacy, scalability, and security controls. And last but not least, we continue to strengthen the centralized admin capabilities across all our products. Bitbucket and Trello are now finally part of the admin hub. And as I stated, Loom is currently being integrated into the platform. So stay tuned. Also, Loom will be part of the overall Atlassian administration soon. With that, let's summarize my key takeaways from Team 24. Rest assured, this is a lot and also just a glimpse of the 3 days in Vegas. So these were my absolute favorites. There's a lot that's been announced, especially in the regard of AI and Rovo, which I'm super excited about. However, for the Team 24 overview, most important announcements, let's summarize that. We announced our vision of teamwork and the system of work, what we believe a unified foundation for all teams, whether that's business, product, development, operations, and even leadership teams shall look like. That includes unifying Jira, so having one Jira for all work management and software. We still do offer Jira Product Discovery and Jira Service Management. We will bring Loom into the platform. We're adding goals into the entire platform to always align goals to the broader purpose, make them visible. And with that, we have also announced Atlassian Home, which is basically replacing Atlas. We are going to add more and more AI features into the platform. But we will also launch a fully AI-driven product that's called Rovo. Stay tuned for that. If you're interested, sign up for the EAP. And last but not least, we are rebranding our security offering and announced Atlassian Guard. So never talk about Atlassian Access anymore. Safeguard your system of work with Atlassian Guard. With that, thank you so much. Again, apologies that I wasn't there in person or that I wasn't there live. However, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And with that, thanks and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Every day, companies worldwide are pushing the boundaries of innovation in remarkable ways. They are pioneering cutting-edge solutions, from life-changing medical advancements and sustainable energy technology to revolutionary shopping experiences with virtual reality and personalized services. All of this mission-critical work is unfolding in Atlassian Cloud. And protecting this work, your organization's most valuable asset, is non-negotiable. That's why over 70% of our enterprise cloud customers already choose Atlassian Guard to strengthen their security posture. With Atlassian Guard, you can proactively protect your data from misuse with advanced controls to set and enforce security policies. Detect threats, understand your risk landscape with centralized insights, and notify your security team of suspicious behavior so they can respond to those threats quickly with suggested remediations. Neutralize threats to your organization's most vital assets and safeguard the breakthroughs of tomorrow. Don't get caught off guard. Try Atlassian Guard today.
Thank you so much, Karina, for that wonderful presentation. It was really, really quite good, more or less a good experience. So without further ado, we'll go to the next speaker. Still on some of the new announcement at Team 24. And here we'll focus more on Atlassian Intelligence, unlocking productivity, coming from Rafael Nolio. So feel free to post your feedback on the comments or any question that you have will be answered or forwarded to the speaker for further clarification. Welcome everyone who has just joined.
Hello, Nairobi. Good to see you. Well, at least virtually. I hope you guys are having time at the event today. I wish I was there with you. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. But yeah, let's try to take the most out of it. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about Atlassian Intelligence and the benefits and the value of the Atlassian Intelligence to our day-to-day. So just to get started, I want to introduce myself. First of all, my name is Rafael. I work as a solutions engineer at Atlassian. Basically means that I work alongside our sales team to help our customers get a perspective of the value that they get out of the products and try to maximize their investments into the Atlassian platform. So I am based out of Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and I primarily work with our UK and Ireland customers, but I'm happy to be here today talking to you guys about Atlassian Intelligence. Just before we start, I think it's important that we mention that it almost goes without saying that almost every company is either working to provide AI into their solutions to their customers, and there's a lot of customers, a lot of companies out there that are very thirsty to consume AI as a solution in the tool stack that they use on a day-to-day basis. So there's a lot of offering happening because there's also a lot of demand in place for AI. And Atlassian, of course, is not falling behind. We're definitely up to make like a good product for you guys. So hopefully today we can learn a little bit more about what Atlassian is actually delivering in that space. Before we start, I think it's important just for us to mention that our core mission for all of our products is to unleash the potential of every team. That's the core of what we do, is the core of the all of the products that Atlassian currently have today. So if you think about Jira, Confluence, all the different Jira flavors, JSM, JPD, Jira Work Management, Jira Software, everything is designed to take the most out of every team, right? So productivity, efficiency, collaboration, this is what we do. That's the core of what we do. You probably have seen, like if you go to someone's LinkedIn page, that a lot of people in Atlassian use this as our slogan, because that's really true. It's really the core of what we do. And talking about efficiency, productivity, and collaboration, I think it's a good segue for us to start talking about Atlassian Intelligence. So today we're going to be covering a little bit about some of the features that Atlassian Intelligence is covering. Also, how does that actually make you more productive? How does that actually make you more efficient? And what are the things that we are doing in that space that will enable you to do those things? Just before we start, I think it's a good for us to have this reflection. This is not something that we said, right? This is like this research company called McKinsey. They had this report out of a research that almost half of all activities employees do worldwide could potentially be automated. When I look at my own work, I don't know if half of what I do could be automated, but potentially a large piece of what I do could be automated. So I can relate to that. I think that's a good reflection for us to think. And it's also a good opportunity for companies to step into that space and provide solutions in the AI industry. Also, still talking about this reports, we conducted this research with our Confluence AI users. And in average, what we got as a return is that users saved around 45 minutes a week. When I looked at it at first, I was like, yeah, 45 minutes sounds like a lot of time. Imagine you get 45 minutes per employee in a large company. This is a lot of time that you save, which means a lot of money that you save. But when I put that into perspective and I was like, okay, you probably are familiar with ChatGPT as an example, where you can write a whole essay in 2 minutes. Of course, this is like just an example, but when we talk about generative AI, Atlassian does cover that space as well. We do have generative AI in Jira, in Confluence. And when we think about how much time that actually saves you, 45 minutes a week does not sound that crazy when we think about all the daily tasks that we have to do and how much heavy lifting the AI is actually helping us with. So I was a little bit surprised at first, but when I thought about it, put that into perspective, it actually made sense. Well, we currently have AI already available today. We have that in Jira Software, Jira Work Management, Confluence, Trello, Jira Service Management. When we talk about the Atlassian Enterprise, we have Atlassian Analytics. We're going to be covering a little bit about that today as well as Bitbucket and Jira Product Discovery. So we have, of course, more in the oven, more to be announced in the future. But currently today, those are the products that we have AI to try out. As we mentioned, AI accelerates what teams can achieve, right? So it makes you do things faster and more efficient. But I think one important point when you talk about Atlassian Intelligence or artificial intelligence in general is, okay, how does that work? I guess there's a lot of questions about data, where data stored, do we keep any data, do you train your platform based on our searches? And I think it's very important that we make this very clear that Atlassian designed Atlassian Intelligence with our responsible tech principles in mind. So every security standard that we have across the platform is also applied to Atlassian Intelligence. I think it's important that we go through quickly the data flow, how Atlassian Intelligence actually works, because it's easy for us to think that we process everything internally and we have the data ourselves. But in fact, if you look at the workflow here, you basically put something in the AI, in this example, a search. So I'm going to search for list the top 10 most read documents in my Confluence page, as an example. You put any sort of prompt that is sent to our teamwork graph. Teamwork graph basically is going to give more context to our search. So if we search something similar in the past, if there are any additional pages that would make sense to be used as reference together with our search, any additional contextual data is added to the search. And then also have our prompt and that contextual data that will make our search a little bit stronger. We send that request to OpenAI. OpenAI is going to process that request for us, send a response back, and we will give the response back to the user. So it really is, we request, we give context, we send to OpenAI, OpenAI process it, gives us back, and we provide it to the user. So I guess a popular question is, okay, but what is it that you do with the data? What does actually OpenAI do with that data of our search? So what do we do with the customer data? We abide to the responsible tech principles. We follow our privacy policy that if you are in the cloud, you're already aware of. We follow our data processing in tandem. It's GDPR compliant, and we don't overcome any permissions. So if you make a search and the response is on a page that you don't have permission for, you're not going to get that response back because you don't have permission. Now, more importantly, what we don't do with customer data. So OpenAI does not train the system without customer data. So if you put a request, a search, or anything from the Atlassian Intelligence, from the AI piece that is processed by OpenAI, it's not used to train the platform to become smarter. Also, we don't store any of the customer data. OpenAI does not store any of the customer data. So it's purely about the processing and giving it back. So there's nothing that is stored on that third-party LLM. Cool. I guess we can move on to the Atlassian AI pillars and see where exactly that adds value. So there are 3 pillars where Atlassian Intelligence adds value. First of them is accelerate individual productivity. It augments teams, makes teams more robust, and unlock organization data. We're going to go through the 3 of them separately with a couple of examples. So let's talk about individual productivity, right? Of course, there's a lot of features that currently exist in Atlassian Intelligence in different products. We're going to cover a few of them, but we do encourage you, of course, to go ahead and spin up your own instance, your own trial, and make use of the products. So you also have a chance to see that by yourself. So we're going to give you some examples in different products so we can illustrate the value of the product. Cool. So let's talk about Confluence. As you guys can pick up from my accent, I am not a native English speaker, and I have to work with English-speaking customers. So sometimes I'm not only concerned about my grammar, but also how I'm delivering the message. And with our Gen AI, it can help generate the content, but it can also help transform the content. As you could see in this example here, you can select a piece of text, improve writing, change the tone, make it more professional, make it more empathetic. It's going to basically rewrite that for you. It is, in this example here is improve writing, and you can always send that credibility, transmit that credibility to the customer or to whoever's reading that text. So this, for me personally, has been very helpful, and I use that almost every day. Another example is finding action items. So sometimes you create like a major Confluence page with a lot of content in it, but you need to generate action points from that page. Okay, now that we have all this information, what do we do? You can simply use the find action items functionality from Atlassian Intelligence. It basically is going to scan that page for you and try to find action items based on the information in that page. So that's really helpful if you want to avoid having to read the entire document again to understand and try to find what do we do next. So this is another example of how you can speed up and gain in productivity and efficiency. Another example here, AI summaries. So I guess all of us here had an instance where you were assigned to read a massive document, sometimes about another team, sometimes about our daily job. But it's a fact that at times we are tasked to read a large page. And AI summaries basically allow you to, once you click on that icon on the top right for the Atlassian Intelligence, basically it's going to summarize the page for you in that little box. So you don't necessarily need to read the entire page. You can get a summary of the entire thing, which again can save you a lot of time and effort. Page catch-up. I guess a lot of you guys like me. So for instance, last week I was on holidays and I had a Confluence page where I basically did a handover of all of my tasks to some of my colleagues. I spent 2 weeks away, and when I came back, there's a lot of updates in that page that I created with all the updates from the customers that my peers helped me with. It was a lot easier for me to understand what happened since the last time I saw this page with the page catch-up. So I could see, okay, what are the recent changes? What's the overview of the recent changes? Is there any action item for me to do? So save me a lot of time to understand what exactly has happened since I left and if there's any tasks for me to follow up on. So it was pretty good. And as you can imagine, saved me, I guess, yeah, at least 20, 30 minutes of my day. Just as a reference here, you guys probably know Sonos is one of our customers, and they have been using AI. And one of their feedbacks is that the review time of their documents has also decreased quite a bit. So that's a good testimonial from an existing large customer that's already using that platform that helps us to give that confidence that it's actually helping customers. Moving on, another example, Confluence Smart Links. If you use Confluence Cloud today, you're probably familiar with a Smart Link where you can paste a link of Google Sheets or Google Doc, Figma, different third-party SaaS applications. You can basically paste a link. It's going to render that for you in the page. So that helps decreasing context switching. But let's say you have a long spreadsheet that is linked in this page that you need a summary of. You don't want to read the entire thing. Now you can get a summary of that third-party tool. In this example here, there's a Google Drive document that you can basically, if you look at the example, summarize. So summarize with the AI. So, okay, tell me what exactly is in that Google Doc so I can also save time and I don't need to read the entire thing. I don't need to leave Confluence. I can do everything from one place. So that's also the major time saving. Now let's switch a little bit to Jira. in Jira, we have what we call work breakdown. That's part of Atlassian Intelligence as well. So if you have a Jira issue where you put your description, everything that you want to do in that epic, for instance, you have one epic with everything being part of that epic, you can basically create issues. Or in this case, if you have one issue created, you can create subtasks out of this main issue. And that those subtasks are going to be based on a task that you have in your issue description, but also if there's any Confluence pages or related resources, as you can see in that here in example, there are any related resources as well as the text that is in that block. You can break down the work for you. So if you have a long task, let's say I have to build a new office, then you list everything that you have to do. You can break down into, okay, now you start with the meeting room, you start with the kitchen, so you basically break down that task into many small tasks, so you can assign to people to get the work done in a more organized way. Confluence really quick. So hopefully you guys have had some exposure with Confluence automation. And Confluence automation basically helps you to maintain your content relevant, for instance. Let's say no one opened a page for 60 days. You want to be notified that that page is very inactive, or someone made a change in a page. You want to be notified because you want to ensure that that page is still relevant, or page hasn't been updated in 60 days. You want to be notified. So these are like examples of automation in Confluence. And in the past, you basically had to create the automations manually, and which would require some technical knowledge. Now we have natural language automation. In this example here, you can just tell what you want. For instance, every Monday, find all the tasks with a date in the next 7 days, then send the assignee an email to remind them. You can just tell what you want, and a rule is going to be created based on that instruction that you have given. And that basically allows less technical teams, people that are not very technical, to also create their own rules more independently. So you're saving resources, you're saving efforts, and also enabling less technical teams to be more independent, which is really good. So I guess most people know Domino's, the global pizza restaurant. And this is a nice report. Like this is a nice sentence they shared with us. Atlassian Intelligence has already proven its worth by improving productivity across our product teams. So yeah, that's what we like to hear, right? Like we want to see that our products are really being relevant. Let's talk now about augmenting team productivity. If you have used Confluence Cloud, you know that we have now whiteboards. So if you had, for instance, like Miro or Lucid and different whiteboard solutions, please know that in the cloud, Confluence also have natively, like at no additional cost, it's part of the product. But now we have AI also as part of Confluence. So let's say you did a brainstorming session where you added a lot of information to your whiteboard and it's very disorganized. You can now keep it more organized. You can, in this example, group related content or generate similar content. In this example, is going to rearrange everything to make sure that all the ideas or all the elements that you put in that whiteboard are organized by topics, or it's basically categorized, which is also really good. Now, when you talk about content transformation, let's say you had a major brainstorming session. You can basically transform this AI, as you can see, convert this into a page. So everything that we put into the whiteboard can be a Confluence page that is going to summarize, going to explain everything that is in that whiteboard in a more, let's say, formal or readable format as well. So you leave from a draft to an actual document, which is also saves a lot of time, I guess. Most of us have done retrospectives or brainstorming sessions where we look at this whiteboards a lot, transforming that into a page or into Jira issues that can save a lot of time as well and effort. Remember, unleashing the potential of every team. Let's go back to Jira now. Me personally, I am very picky about how information is displayed, right? So I'm very picky about the visuals. And when I create content, I try to make as clear as possible and as easy to understand as possible. Unfortunately, not everybody is like that, but nothing to panic about, because now we have issue reformatter. So in this example here, you can see that in this text, yeah, it's a text that describes the implementation of real-time vehicle tracking, but it's not very structured, right? So imagine if you could have a tool that will basically rewrite that for you or reformat that for you. That's exactly what this feature does. As you can see in this example, you can add a structure. And when you add the structure, look, what is the objective? What are the benefits, acceptance criteria, definition of done? And that basically, this is written based on a text that already exists. So look how much better that looks. That's exciting. And I like this a lot because it helps to bring more structure and standards to the way tickets are created. Now let's talk about JSM really quick, Jira Service Management. I think all of us here have gone through the path of raising tickets, or my VPN is not working, or my laptop's not working, or I need to use the printer, or anything IT related, right? And you have to sometimes contact support, raise a ticket, the ticket to respond. And yeah, also from a support perspective, a lot of requests pile up and they spend most of their time on repetitive tasks, repetitive tickets. So virtual agent basically allows you today to use on Slack. So you can install an agent in Slack that basically you can feed with the content that, for instance, in this example, I can't receive my Bankly emails on my mobile device. So this is a situation that is covered by the IT team, and they have already prepared a CAN response. So the agent is gonna do a triage, try to resolve the issue for you. And if it does not resolve the issue for you, you can still raise a ticket. But that triage, that let's say the VPN issue, I guess a lot of people face the VPN issue. What if you ask this in a channel in Slack and you get instructions on how to solve that without the need to interact with any human? That is essentially what augmenting teams actually mean for us. Additionally, virtual agents has always also been added to the customer portal. So you can now interact with a virtual agent when searching for information in the JSM portal as well. When we talk about numbers, Fundle Group, which is a large gaming company, shared with us that JSM virtual agents cut their support tickets by 85%. So, of course, this number relates to support tickets that need human interaction. So, the support ticket that needed human interaction has been decreased by 85%. OVO Energy is another company that has been using JSM virtual agent, and they mentioned to us that 23% of their requests were solved by the virtual agent. And going back to the VPN example, imagine a lot of the new hires or anybody that has some problems that are repetitive that the IT team might see every day. You can now address those requests automatically with a virtual agent, which is pretty significant numbers. And that's also what OVO Energy told us. As a very small team, using AI answers is like having an extra person. So they have a small team, they have a large internal audience. So you leveraging from Atlassian AI has been helping them to take care of their internal audience quite a bit, which is special for us to hear. Now let's talk about unlocking organization data. which is the third pillar. So if you have used Atlassian Enterprise, you probably heard of Atlassian Analytics and Atlassian Data Lake. So Atlassian Data Lake is where we're gonna keep all of your Atlassian data across the different products. It's basically, as I said, a data lake. You can really get all of your data from there. And Atlassian Analytics is our sort of BI tool, where you can basically query information from the data lake and display that into a dashboard with different charts and graphics for you to gain insights about how you're actually leveraging from our products, how your teams are performing, what's the adoption like. So you can gain insights across your different products and usage and teams, which will help you to make decisions. So although data lake and analytics, they work together, they are separate. You can use Atlassian Data Lake with Power BI or Easy BI, for instance, instead of analytics. And you can also use analytics with external data sources instead of using a data lake, or you can use a mix and match, but you can use, for instance, SQL Server databases, MySQL databases, Databricks, and so on. There's a long list of external data sources you can use, but essentially, Atlassian Analytics looks like something like that. Of course, there are a lot of different templates, a lot of different information that you can bring. In this example here, we have an issues overview where you can see the project process, how many tickets are accepted, approved, what are the unresolved tickets by priority, priority and age. But you can be very creative with the data that you put in here. So all this charts, they're customizable. So remember, we query data from the Atlassian data lake. And when we query the data from the data lake, you can basically, ask whatever you want in the format of SQL, as you can see here. Now, you're probably asking, but I don't know SQL, or there's a lot of teams that don't know SQL. How do I need to have that expertise? Do I need to involve the technical teams to create these dashboards? Well, not anymore, because with Atlassian Intelligence, basically, remember when we were using Confluence automation that you can just tell what you want to use natural language. You can do the same here. As you can see in the top left here on the screen, how many Jira issues are done by project name, limited to 5 projects. So you can just tell something that you would like to get in return, and that natural language will be translated into a SQL query, which generates the chart in the right corner that you can add to one of those dashboards. So AI is also part of the analytics to help you build those dashboards and enable less technical teams to also have that freedom to create their own dashboards. Insights, as you can see here, you can also gain insights from the charts itself. So you have one dashboard here with a lot of charts, and sometimes it's difficult to read that information if you don't have enough context. So with this insights per chart, basically AI is going to help you to understand that information and digest that data in an easier fashion. There's so much more coming, guys. There's a lot more features about Atlassian Intelligence that are currently GA or they're still coming. I do encourage everybody to go ahead and have a look at our AI pages to spin up a new instance and try things out. We covered just the tip of the iceberg here. There's so much more that Atlassian Intelligence can do. But I'm also excited to well, not sure if announce is the right word, but to talk to you guys about Atlassian Rovo, which is Atlassian's new product that will be available next year. But it's exciting. It has been announced in Teams 24 this year. Is a new product that will be added to the Atlassian portfolio, and it's basically our enterprise search engine. As you probably know, Atlassian search engine helps you to find information across our products, right? So you have your search, you can find information in Jira, in Confluence, and so on. So that's really good. But I guess one thing that is getting more and more needed right now is an enterprise search engine where you can basically search across all of your tool stack. Let's say you have Google Docs, you have OneDrive, you have Slack, you have a lot of different sources where data is stored, and you wish to have like a single place to search across all those things. That's where Atlassian Rovo comes to place. So there's a lot of search improvements. As you can see here, Rovo also helps listing all the recently viewed documents or related documents to that page you're looking at. So does autocomplete. So it is definitely a smarter solution from a search perspective. It's definitely a smarter engine that helps you to be more assertive in your search. We are actually enhancing that search engine. Now, we spoke about the ecosystem, right? So Rovo is going to help you to have a more assertive search in your Atlassian tool stack, but also in your entire tool stack, right? So in this example here, you have Teams, GitHub, Figma, Slack, Google Drive, SharePoint. You can have this one-stop shop for searching. So with this example here, as you can see, customer portal testing. You can search for customer portal testing in the search box. And as you can see in the example here, answers are being retrieved from different sources because you can create these connectors that will basically allow Atlassian Rovo to fetch answers from those third-party products that you have in your company as well. So it's basically an enterprise search engine. Another part of Rovo is the definition. So I'm not sure about the company that you guys work for, but in Atlassian, we have a lot of acronyms sometimes, or like a project names. There are different projects that there's a name assigned that if you don't work here, you're not going to know, right? And I think a lot of companies have that. So in this example here, Project Blueberry, as part of the work we are doing with Titan, like who's Titan? So definition in Confluence, like if there's a specific acronym like VPN, like what's VPN, or a specific team, Titan, is going to help you to understand what that is. So if you are reading a text and you have one of those acronyms or specific jargons, Atlassian AI is going to help giving a definition to you of what that is, based, of course, in existing explanation that you have in your Confluence database. That also extends to third-party products. So in this example here, we have a Google Doc file that has a reference to a specific internal team. And as you can see, there's an underscore in Blueberry that you can basically click and get a definition of what that means. I'm going to leave here as well a link. I'm going to share this link with the team as well about the FAQ about Atlassian Intelligence. I guess there's a lot of questions that are generated when you speak about Atlassian Intelligence. So that's it for today. I wanted to thank everybody for giving us this space. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation, have learned something today. And yeah, I guess hopefully next time I'll see you guys in person.
Yeah, very nice presentation there from Rafael. So we'll take a break of around 10 minutes, and then when you're back, we'll be joined live by Denny, joining us from Amsterdam. Feel free to grab coffee, water or something, and yeah. And he is here, so you can ask questions as indicated on the chat.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming to Team 24. I want you to imagine that this building is your organization. Whatever your team's focus, we understand that your world is running ever faster, and trust me, we're running fast alongside you. It's our mission at Atlassian to unleash the potential of every team in this building. Today, you're going to hear from three of us about how we're doing that through a system of work that connects every window.
We are passionate about teamwork. Over the past 2 decades of working with different teams and observing millions of great teams, Jira, Confluence, and Loom create a powerful teamwork foundation across all of your different teams, fostering shared goals, shared knowledge, and shared progress. Goals are a part of Atlassian platform so that every team can see the larger goal that they are part of. And you've made it really clear that all of your teams need one project management solution across the board. That's why we've combined Jira Work Management and Jira Software into one product that helps all teams work better together. We simply call it Jira. And it brings together the best parts of Jira Work Management and Jira Software into one project management solution for every team. Lists in Jira offers a spreadsheet-style user experience that really brings the simplicity of user experience with the power of Jira behind it. With plans in Jira Premium, you can see how development teams, marketing teams, and support teams are all progressing towards their shared goals in one single place. Confluence is the one single place where all of your teams can go to create shared knowledge. Whether it is content types like pages, whiteboards, databases, you name it, we've got it. Loom is a part of Teamwork Foundations that helps every kind of team be more productive in different ways. For teams to scale effectively in the modern world, more and more work has to move from being synchronous to asynchronous. And that is exactly what Loom does. So this helps you create shared knowledge and shared progress across your teams without getting into meeting hell. Since Atlassian started using Loom, we've removed the need for nearly 500,000 meetings.
We help you to discover new ideas, how to build and ship new products and services, and keep them running at all times. Let's dig into some of the recent advancements. Today, I'm really excited to announce that we're launching the premium version of Jira Product Discovery. Firstly, it's going to give you visibility across all your projects. It also gives you full control over who has access to view and edit these ideas. And lastly, we've taken all the AI features that you've seen this morning, everything we can possibly do to make it faster and easier for you to speed up how you capture and prioritize all your ideas. I'm super excited that today we're announcing Loom for development teams. So you can create a bug report in a single click from inside the Loom interface. So not only is that a single click, we then take all of the power of Loom AI to generate a transcript and take all the things you put on your screen and fill out all the details from a Jira ticket. We recently acquired Optic, which allows every one of our customers to have API auto documentation right within Compass. And with Optic, you'll be able to automatically detect and update all the changes to APIs. Now you can connect your API information to scorecards that I just showed, which allows you to track all your documentation accuracy and coverage. And you can actually set up systems to actively prevent API incidents from happening in the first place. By combining Optic with Compass, we free up your developers to spend more time on valuable work and less time spent maintaining documentation, which of course, no one really wants to spend time doing. We've introduced a new incident response experience right within your Dev and Ops team's favorite tools. So we acquired OpsGenie a few years ago to provide these incident management response capabilities, and it's now better than ever. So today I'm excited to announce that these capabilities that we have acquired in OpsGenie and significantly evolved over the years are now available directly inside Jira Service Management. Not only that, they're also available directly in Compass right out of the box. Wouldn't it be great if you could quickly group all the alerts that are coming in so that you can focus on the highest priority issues? So Atlassian Intelligence in Jira Service Management does just that. It will summarize all these tickets and let you know what the most important things to work on are. I think this is a game changer for anyone that has to deal with incidents and with alerts that happen. It will even recommend next steps and subject matter experts. It will surface root causes, run books, knowledge-based articles to help your teams resolve and respond to incidents faster. Now, third, because our incident management experience is built directly on the Atlassian platform, you get to leverage the full power of automation. And so, for example, you can use automations and timers, including connectors to third-party systems like Ansible, which means that you can automatically close out alerts. Or if that doesn't get closed out, you can auto-generate incidents if it can't automatically be resolved. This is thanks to the power of Atlassian platform, and just think all the things that you can do inside your organizations by weaving together all Atlassian tools and automations that we can provide. So we brought the power of Atlassian Intelligence to help make it easier and faster for humans, real-life people, to provide amazing support experiences. So again, with a click of a button, Atlassian Intelligence now summarizes all the previous conversations, including knowledge-based articles that have been recommended, other paths that have been tried, and we know that this is going to drastically reduce the back and forth and allow you as an agent to resolve these tickets faster. So requests start piling up in a queue. Wouldn't it be great if you could use AI to automatically assign them to the right people? Of course, with Atlassian Intelligence, you can now automatically and triage those risks, assign them based on priority, based on location, based on expertise that your employees have. And this makes it way faster to get support. We also at Atlassian have a vision that every team in your organization will have a service desk. Doesn't matter if you are the finance team, HR, legal, if you are a security team. And so to enable this today, we have created instant service desks. So no matter how technical or non-technical you are, with just a simple description of what your team does, we will set up a service desk for you. I want to announce that Atlassian University is free for everyone.
Now we've heard all about how our products help our teams, let's dive into the Atlassian Cloud Platform. One area we've continued to fortify is cloud security. Atlassian Guard. It's a new comprehensive security product for the Atlassian cloud. Guard ensures you can proactively protect your organization's data with access management and advanced data protection, detect suspicious activity with centralized insights, and intelligently respond to threats before they become incidents. Now, Atlassian Analytics helps give your teams visibility into the data that they need to power better decision-making. We've added over 20 new dashboard templates, and there are many new chart templates coming soon as well. As you can see, we're building and shipping magical AI features to help unleash the potential of your teams in new ways. Let me introduce you to Atlassian Rovo. Rovo is designed to revolutionize knowledge discovery and action across your organization. And we believe that the future of teamwork is a collaboration between human teammates and AI-driven teammates. We call these Rovo agents, and they're awesome. Like your human teammates, these agents are specialized. So every agent has specific goals or clear objectives that they're trying to achieve. So everything we've shown you in this morning's keynote is designed to unleash the potential of all teams in your organization. And I know we've covered a lot of ground. Thank you so much for being so attentive. Thanks for being awesome customers. And thanks for being here with us today or joining us online. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those who are here, and it's a great experience. Also for our speakers, if you can just go to your comment and maybe share the clapping emoji or celebratory emoji for at least our first speaker live, that is Denny. Denny, the floor is all yours.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael. And hello, everyone. Greetings from Amsterdam. It's very cold and wet and rainy where we are, so I hope it's much more sunny and beautiful in Nairobi or wherever you are. Going to switch to my presentation in a moment, so I won't be able to see comments while I'm presenting, but once I'm done with the presentation, I'll switch back to video view and I should be able to see anything. So feel free to ask any questions. We'll do a short Q&A at the end of my presentation. So as long as I get this right, let's give this a try. And I'm going to be speaking today on what I call unleashing your team. As you've maybe heard, Atlassian's goal, unleash the potential of every team. I believe it's a challenge of culture and not one of just collaboration. And so in my presentation, I'm going to be talking about what is Atlassian's vision for unleashing your team. We're going to speak a bit about collaboration tooling, and then I'm going to try and answer the big question, which is, if I own all the tools, what am I missing to get shit done? So without further ado, what is Atlassian's vision for unleashing your team? Now, maybe you saw it a little bit earlier if you had joined, but if not, I'll repeat it for you. Our mission, why we believe we exist as Atlassians, is to unleash the potential of every team. And maybe you're wondering, well, what does that actually mean? Well, in one way, we try to do it through what we believe is some of the best collaboration software on the planet, through tools like Jira, Jira Work Management, which, as you saw, is now combined into one Jira platform. We also try to do it through things like thought leadership. My team, Advisory Services, works with some of our largest enterprise customers and helps them tackle this in a very real way. We try to find out how we can bring their people, their process, and their tools all together so that they're working in a better level of harmony and doing some absolutely incredible things all over the world. In addition to our mission, we also have our purpose, which is advancing human collaboration. We are a tech company, but we try to keep people at the very center of that, realizing that, you know, human collaboration is what moves forward. We build great, amazing tools like AI, Atlassian Intelligence, like Rovo, to allow you to work smarter, to allow you to work faster. Not necessarily to force you to work harder, but to mean that those little moments in between, those little breaks when you would normally be spent doing something that now AI can do for you, you can actually spend to have a more in-depth conversation with your team, or to think more on something that's been said in a Loom video you just watched. And by doing that, we believe those little breaks in between the work we do are what actually allow us to collaborate deeper and come up with even more amazing things. And lastly, we believe big. We bet big. We bet big before the COVID pandemic on Team Anywhere. All of our tooling, the way we were switching it, our move to cloud, all of these things were built around this idea that if a team has the right tools and the right culture, they can work absolutely anywhere. We have a channel internally at Atlassian where you're able to see what your teammates are kind of up to and posting, and we get a lot of people posting pictures of themselves with their laptop and their phone at the beach or on top of a mountain, you know, or maybe in a country they've never traveled to before, or we get pictures of people driving in a RV or a camper van across giant deserts. And as long as they have internet, they can pretty much be a team from anywhere. And we allow our employees to do that for up to 90 days a year, anywhere in the world. So it's a very, very cool experience. And it's something we believe in. It's something that factors into all the work we do. Which is no surprise that 92% of Atlassians say distributed work allows them to do their best work. Whether that's having a little extra time because you're not commuting into the office to maybe get your laundry done, or enjoy a longer time with your family before you start work, or maybe it means that you get to do your best work because you're enjoying a nice sunset on the beach. And it's also something, again, we bet big on. 57% of our hires live more than 2 hours away from our office. 5, 6, 7 years ago, that would have been impossible for most businesses, but we very much believe it's the way going forward, and it's the way we're working, and it allows us, by collaborating from anywhere, we also get to bring in some of the best talent, who are the teams that are designing all the amazing stuff you just saw in that brief recap from Team 24. So I want to talk a little bit about collaboration tooling, and I think the process goes something like this. Maybe if you're the owner of your IT program at your business, or your decision maker, or maybe you're just one team of many teams, you might look at something, you might say, oh, we absolutely need that new piece of technology. You bought something to help. But then you realize that other teams or other groups need a different tool. And so they buy that tool for their work. And it goes on and on and on. And suddenly everyone is asking you for help because there's so many tools that are supposed to make the job easier. They actually make the job harder. I'll be completely honest, even at Atlassian, we struggle with this. We sometimes go, great, it needs to exist in this Confluence page and this Jira board. And it also, when we, previously with Atlas, it fed up separately into an Atlas goal, and we were tracking things. And sometimes you had to write something down in 2 or 3 or 4 places, and it made work harder because you had to keep track of everything. You had to look multiple places. And so that's what I mean when I talk about tech stack fatigue. The more siloed and non-streamlined your tech stack becomes, the more places your employees or yourselves are asking yourselves where you have to work, the easier it is to actually just be tired and stop doing good work, or start skipping processes, or spend more time chasing information than actually creating it. I did a quick Google search when I was making this presentation, and I asked Google Images, and I just said, show me a typical enterprise tech stack, and this is what it gave me. I'm going to assume you're all laughing on your end, even though you're on mute, because you probably either say, wow, that looks insane, or you go, wow, did they take that picture from my company? But it's absolutely, absolutely crazy. The average enterprise tech stack can have anywhere between 50 and 100 different technologies playing into their ability to just go, plan, build, continuous integration, deploy, operate, and continuous feedback. So you may be looking, you may see some very familiar logos from your company on there. You may go, we have even more than that. And I think what's crazy is that that's not including AI features. And while AI features in some programs may be very native, AI features is a hot topic in what everybody seems to be creating. Sometimes learning a new AI feature can be just like learning a new program, because they're not always as natively built as they might be with Atlassian. The good news is we have a solution for that. I need to switch real quick because we found out that this platform doesn't show video, so give me just 1 second to change screens. And I want to share what we believe is Atlassian's solution for that. So just a moment, and hopefully the audio works, but please let me know.
Modern work is complex, and it takes a team of teams. But with different workflows and objectives, teams, tools, and information can easily fall into silos where collaboration is stifled and innovation suffers, especially as you scale. That's why we built the Atlassian platform. As the foundation that powers all Atlassian solutions, it breaks information silos and drives connection between teams, tools, and data across your entire organization. So no matter where your teams are or how they like to work, they're always connected on one seamless platform that powers truly remarkable experiences. With the Atlassian platform, teams can collaborate effectively, get powerful insights from cross-product analytics, streamline work through automation, and let admins manage it all at scale. And the best part, it's not just for Atlassian products. Thousands of the world's most popular apps easily integrate with the Atlassian platform, meaning teams have the freedom to customize their workflows and use the best tool for the job without becoming siloed. All while teams get peace of mind that Atlassian solutions are built on secure, compliant, and reliable cloud infrastructure. Whatever your team's goals are, from engineering and IT to business and service teams, bring them all together to make complex work productive and scale your organization beyond the impossible with the Atlassian platform.
Okay, we're going to switch back to the presentation in just a moment. So many of you may have heard of Atlassian platform, or if you've been following Atlassian for a while, you maybe saw this coming. And you know that we've been working for quite some time about having all of our tools play in. Maybe you've seen some of the earliest integrations where you could use smart links to link something like a Jira ticket to a Confluence page, or the other way around. But we're working harder and harder, and we've tried to make it so that actually all solutions can live within the Atlassian ecosystem. So whether you're focused on DevOps or DevSecOps, as we've been calling it more recently, or maybe you're in the ITSM industry, or maybe you're in a business team, and previously you thought Atlassian was just something for developers, and you weren't really engaged. Maybe you saw a Confluence page here or there. The whole point of developing this Atlassian One platform is we want to bring every team together. With one of my customers, a large automotive worker, piece of automotive work within EMEA and actually globally, this company found that they had their development teams, and then their business teams, and then their sales teams, and then their kind of manufacturing teams all sitting and working, but no one was talking to each other. And they were finding it really slowed down the process of work. And when we were tasked with helping them bring it all together, their tech stack very much was looking like this, with so many products, so many speaking. By using just the simple idea of the Atlassian platform and saying, what can we run through here? Not only were we able to help them greatly reduce their tech stack, which for the IT teams meant a great reduction in overhead costs, we also enabled them to work faster and together. And I can pretty happily say now that within their sales division and their app technology division, the very tools that they're putting in their cars, they're now doing that all on the Atlassian One platform. And it's amazing to see a development team and a marketing team having the same conversations on the same tickets. And through another product that we have called Jira Align, they're actually able to report that all the way up to the leadership of this large automotive manufacturer. So if you allow me to go back in, what does that mean for you? Maybe you go, great, we have Atlassian, we have the full platform, we have all the tools plus all those other tools you saw on that page. You might say we're still really bad at collaborating, and I want to talk about that. You see, tech stack is a series of tools, and like any tool, or in this case what Atlassian's trying to do with our platform, maybe a toolbox, it comes down to knowing what to use, when to use it, where to use it, and why you're using it. Something that I did with this customer in the automotive space, and actually I've done with any number of customers, and I believe can be done with any business of any shape and size, is to actually develop tooling strategy. It's important to understand what tools do and who they're doing it for. In the case that you have multiple tools doing the same thing, it's always, and I do mean this, always worth the time, energy, and effort to explore consolidating those tools. Not just from a financial savings. Sometimes that can be a great reason because it's a good amount of cost for your business. But other times, just because you realize you could have two teams talking and sharing not only information, but collaboration and sharing the ability to work on projects together that were simply just blocked before because they were on separate products. It's a tricky journey. Sometimes you get incredibly devoted people who are committed to one product over the other, and you have to have a strategy in your tech that might actually cost them that, and they might have said, well, I can't work now because you took away my tool. So please know, when I talk tooling strategy, I'm talking about not only the consolidation strategy, but also the how you build your teams into that. The first thing I'd encourage you, assuming you're Atlassian users, but you probably have other tools that can do this if you're not, is to use your tooling to collaborate on tooling. What do I mean for that? Well, let's say you're used to using Jira or Trello. You can make a very simple Kanban style board or work management board and give yourself 3 pillars. In the first pillar, say tools. In the second pillar, say reviewing. And in the third pillar, say keep. And so start with one of those tools, move it over just like you would an epic or a task in the board as a ticket in the board, or as a item in Trello if you're looking at it that way. And actually look and answer those questions. What does it do? Who's using it? How many people are using it? What are they using it for? And what impact is it having on our business? and then grab the next one over. And maybe you realize as you're doing this review, you see those ones that have the same thing and you go, well, we have 2 tools that look very similar. One of them is being used by 50 users and the other is being used by 5. It may make sense to say, oh, well, we should move those 5 into those 50, but it can also equally make sense to say, actually, we should move those 50 into what the 5 are using because it's a better tool. Maybe it's a more affordable tool. Maybe it actually fits into an ecosystem of tools that you're using, and therefore it can integrate and help you share your data and increase your collaboration. But convincing 50 people or 5 people is going to be tough, and that's where maybe working on your collaboration culture comes in. And that's why I'm a big fan of actually using Confluence to discuss. Once you've done the work in Jira or Trello to plan out your tech stack, take every tool that's possibly on the chopping block, post it into a Confluence with a brief description of why you're considering consolidating that tool, what you're hoping to achieve by moving that tool into another tool, and allow your users, the ones who are on one of those tools that might be getting cut, to come in and comment, say why it matters to them, say what they feel like they're missing. Because not only is that going to help you understand the business cases, it's also going to help you understand who's really passionate. And those might be the people that you say, okay, we do have to move to this new tool, or we may have to consolidate down to this one tool, but we understand and we hear your things. We've gone in and looked at your concerns, and we're happy to show you how you can solve those in the new tool. We'll show you the exact same process or workflow, or better yet, you can say, actually, we found that with this tool, we can do it even better. And before you just suddenly cut off their access to the old tool, give them some time to test around and play. You know, use your enablement, use your built-in resources. If you're using someone like Atlassian, we have all these great resources on our Atlassian University, or maybe depending on your company, you have access to an Atlassian SE who can provide a demo, or a CSM who's in charge of part of the adoption anyways, or maybe you're one of the customers who works with my team, advisory services. Bring in your software providers to help with that enablement discussion, because at the end goal, you want your users to be enabled. It doesn't matter how good the technology is. It doesn't matter how new, how much AI, anything else. If you give somebody a tool and you don't teach them how to use it, it's like giving somebody a power tool and telling them to go build your house. You know, you can maybe turn it on, you can maybe run it, but you run a big risk of doing some damage. And at the end of the day, your product's not going to be good if somebody's not a skilled user. So what does that mean? When you have new tech, you ask the question, who bought this? And you want to transfer that to who owns this. And that's the difference, because maybe the person who bought it to help a team or to help a process, or maybe they're in your procurement and they're just there to try and get you guys the better tools. But understanding who, either as an individual or a team, owns it is the one who's going to be responsible for that product success. Ask what were they trying to solve, and changing that to what solution does it provide. Atlassian just did this process. The video I showed you earlier, when we looked at our tools, we said, what solution is it providing? Is it a solution in making better processes and better collaboration for DevOps? Does it help ITSM teams? Does it allow other business teams to collaborate? Those are the type of solutions we're looking at answering. Does it improve an enterprise's agility? What do you know about the product? I know this sounds silly, but it's amazing to me. Sometimes I'm meeting in my role with Atlassian with vice presidents, CIOs, even sometimes CEOs of large companies who just said, yep, we're so excited. We purchased, X million dollars of Atlassian. And I go, oh, that's great. So are you a big fan of Jira? And they go, what's Jira? What's Confluence? It's not hard to purchase technology. It's harder to understand it and know how it's going to help your business. If they bought something that expensive and don't know why, it probably means we had somebody very good on our sales team working against other people who are really good on their company sales teams. But actually saying, what space should this product sit in? How does it help our DevOps or our ITSM or our marketing team or our legal team? Those are the questions you should be answering, and that's what enabled tech looks like. Do you have something that already does the job? If you're asking that question, you should ask, should you destroy this new acquisition before it starts? I know that may seem like a really crazy question, but I've actually gone in and helped some of our customers who go, well, but we just bought that product. most recently, I was helping one of my customers who's in the streaming industry, and they bought an Atlassian product and were hesitant to use it because they'd also just bought, or not even bought, but because of their enterprise level with Confluence, they got Confluence Whiteboard, and they go, we just spent a bunch of money on Miro, and now you're making it difficult because we have to choose. And I go, that's okay. You have time to choose, but decide quickly before you have half your people working on one and half your people working on the other, what you're going to go forward with. And unbelievably enough, right now, we're doing everything we can for this customer to keep their end users from using Confluence whiteboards while they evaluate this other board tooling. But they've already decided, that soon they're probably going to switch to Confluence whiteboard because it's better at including. Ask yourself how it will be rolled out. Meaning, you bought this product, you have 50 licenses or 50,000 licenses. At what stages are you going to roll out? Does everybody get it all at once? Do individual teams get it? And then you have to make sure, if it's for enabled technologies, what does successful adoption look like? Does it look successful if 5 users are using it or 500 users are using it? Does it look successful if it saves those users 5 minutes a day or 5 hours a day? Does it look successful if that information flows into another program, or does it look successful if you built it as a standalone? And the last question that's really worth asking in the difference between a new tech and an enabled tech is, how much support is that vendor going to give you? The question asked is, do you trust that vendor? I'm proud of the work we do at Atlassian. I'm proud of the trust we often have from our customers, because they know every question, every concern, everything that goes into our Jack system does get reviewed, and we're working hard always to improve and to go with that. So I hope you understand that it's not just about buying new tech, it's about enabling that tech. But even once you have it enabled, once you have a great strategy around what you're using to collaborate with, you need one last step. And I call that the magical land of governance. And that means once you have it all in place, or as you're building it out and putting it in place, you definitely need a situation or a group or a team that monitors your technology and makes sure it stays on the course you want it to. I believe the image in the background that I put governance over is the yellow brick road from the Wizard of Oz. And the point is, you have to keep your teams on the path with your technology, because the second you stop watching it is the second you start losing that collaboration culture and you start to build silos. I hope my presentations helped and made sense, and maybe made some of you think about what collaboration is going to look like for you and your businesses. Thank you very much, and I will open it up now to a few minutes of questions if anybody has anything they would like to ask. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, so please feel free to go ahead and unmute yourselves if you would like to ask. Okay, well, no worries, everyone. I will be staying online for a bit longer as we get ready for the next presentation. So please feel free to reach out via chat and ask me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Danny. Anyone with a question, please raise up your hand in case you have a challenge unmuting the mic. Let me know. From the raise hand, I can actually unmute your mic or the video automatically. So I'll give this opportunity to Anmol Agrawal from Sydney. I don't know if I say that right, but yeah, to take it home.
Yeah, you said it right. Right, thank you. Let me quickly share my screen. Oh. Yeah, can you all see this?
Yes.
All right, cool. Hello, everyone. Hi from Sydney. My name is Anmol Agrawal. First of all, I would like to say that I wish I was there in person, and it would have been amazing to engage with all of you in person, but we got to make the best of what we have, and hopefully next one would be in person, and would be excited to catch all of you then. Anyways, let's get started. Welcome everyone to the Team 24 community-led conference talk. My name is Anmol Agrawal, and I'm a developer advocate here at Atlassian, where I help developers and partners build solutions over our products. In this session, we are going to see how you can elevate your service management game by building customizations for Jira Service Management. Before I move further, I would just want to ask a couple of questions to the audience. I'll pause my share screen for a while. Just questions to understand your audience and also the Nairobi community. How many of you have heard of a developer platform called Forge? And Michael, if you can also kind of share with me like what you see in your local community, so it will give me an idea. So first question is, how many of you heard of Forge? Okay.
Yeah,
And
maybe I can give you maybe a bit of context around Forge. So we have done a couple of events around Forge for the last maybe 2 years, if my mind serves me well. Actually, some of our members, some of them might be here, I'm not sure, were part of the test program whereby before Forge launches the features. Also, we have participated on CodeGist, and a couple of members also won a couple of goodies for building on Forge. Yeah, so I'm sure I can see familiar faces here who are familiar with Forge, and I'm sure they should be able to ask questions around Forge. So, and also majority of our members are developers, given that we are a startup economy, and now it's medium business size. So we have a pretty number of devs.
Awesome. And what are those devs? What language are they comfortable with? JavaScript, Python, what do they like to code in?
Now that's where the devs speak for themselves.
But how about this? Okay, Forge is right now just JavaScript. So how are your community is in general with JavaScript knowledge?
Yeah, I can see on the chart there is Python, there is Java, there is JavaScript. Yeah, continue posting. Yeah.
Cool.
Python, there is more Python, JavaScript. So it's quite divided, but of course, a lot of guys are coding JavaScript. I can see Python, Java, and JavaScript, Kotlin, Python.
Yeah. But the good thing is, like, whether you know right now, although it's just Java, the Forge is just JavaScript. But if you know Kotlin, Java, Python, you at least you know any programming language, and transferring the concepts to JavaScript is not difficult. And second of all, we'll see to develop with Forge, you don't need to be an expert with JavaScript. Just having a basic knowledge. If you have a basic knowledge of JavaScript, you're good to go. So yeah, fear not. If you see JavaScript code and you think that you won't be able to, it's pretty easy to get started. All right, with that, I will jump onto the presentation. Okay, let's have a look at the agenda for today. We'll first begin with the introduction to Forge and why you use it. Then we'll look how it can benefit you and your team using few use cases. After that, we'll take a deep dive into one of those use cases by seeing the demo and going through its code. And once you get the idea, we'll share what are the possibilities with JSM customizations. And lastly, we'll share the resources to help you get started.
Sorry, Anmol, in case you're sharing your presentation, we can only see your screen, but we can't see the presentation.
Okay. Thank you for calling out. Let me just try that again. Can you see this again?
Still seeing the same screen.
Same screen. Okay, just a second. Let me share screen.
Maybe the window with the presentation would be great, and then you can do the slideshow.
Okay, I'm trying that. Maybe I'm selecting the incorrect window. Just give me a second. All right, is it visible now?
Yes, perfect.
Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Is this the agenda slide visible now?
Yes.
All right. I'll go through it again. No problems. Let's have a look at the agenda for today. We will first begin with the introduction to Forge and why use it. Then we'll look into how it can benefit you and your team using few use cases. After that, we'll take a deep dive into one of those use cases by seeing the demo and going through the code. Once you get the idea, we'll share what are the possibilities with JSM customizations. And lastly, we'll share the resources to help you get started. At Atlassian, our mission is to unleash the potential of every team. We got a bunch of awesome products like Jira, Confluence, and Bitbucket that help make that happen. But sometimes you might find yourself wishing for a feature that's not quite there yet. And it can feel like it's holding you back. We are going to explore how you can take matters into your own hands and supercharge your Atlassian experience. So here's the thing. You don't have to sit around and wait for us to add that feature that you are dreaming of. No, you can take the reins and make it happen yourself. Did you know that you can actually build your own apps on top of Atlassian products? That's right. It's like having a secret superpower that lets you customize and extend our tools to fit your team's unique needs. Now, you might be thinking, for those who are not aware of Forge, but wait, I'm not a hardcore developer. How am I supposed to build an app? Well, fear not, we got your back with Forge. Forge, it's Atlassian's very own serverless development platform. It's like having a trusty sidekick that handles all the heavyweight lifting for you. All right, let's dive a little bit deeper into what makes Forge so special. First off, it's all about rapid app development. Forge is a development platform which simplifies a lot of tasks. It's like having a set of building blocks that you can easily snap together to bring your app ideas to life. Plus, you don't have to worry about the technical stuff like hosting or maintenance because Forge is fully hosted by Atlassian on the cloud. But here's the real kicker. Forge opens up a whole new world of possibilities when it comes to extending Atlassian products. With hundreds of APIs and modules at your fingertips, you can create apps that work seamlessly across all products. So now that you know what Forge is all about, you might be wondering, okay, but what can I actually do with it? Well, buckle up. because the possibilities are endless. Forge is like a Swiss Army knife for Atlassian products. It's got everything you need to tackle a wide range of use cases and solve real problems for your team. Whether you are looking to streamline your workflows, automate repetitive tasks, or build custom integrations, Forge has you got covered. We'll begin with a use case how your customers can benefit. Imagine a customer who needs assistance and starts filling out a request. As they enter this issue summary, they are automatically presented with relevant articles from your knowledge base that could potentially solve their problem. If the articles don't address their needs, the customer can proceed with creating the ticket. But what if they also had access to community threads discussing similar issues? So here's an example of how it might look like. In the sidebar in the portal, you can see related community questions section. A solution like this would help the customer find solutions provided by other users. This would allow them to resolve the problem independently without waiting for support team intervention. We'll take a look in a while how to build this app. So by leveraging community insights, customer could not only save time, but also help keep the support team free for more complex issues, demonstrating the efficiency of the self-service options. Let's jump on to the next use case. Can anyone tell me what this is? If you guessed workflow statuses, you're right. Specifically, the default statuses you get when you create a new project in JSM. These statuses are linked together by transitions, which are those little green arrows that provide an orderly way for issues to progress from one state to another. When you update the status of an issue from View Issue screen, we call that executing a transition. One of the really cool things about transitions is that they are extensible. You can customize them with a set of workflow modules. Jira has a built-in only assignee condition that, when applied, only allows the assignee of an issue to execute a transition. Jira has some built-in field validators that allow you to check whether a field is set or validate its content using some logic or regular expression. There is also something called post function module. And this comes in handy when you want some operation to happen after the transition is executed. So for example, if you want to assign an issue to the current user or the reporter. But what's really cool is that you can build your very own conditions, validators, and post functions with just a few lines of code of JavaScript using Forge. Now, this is pretty exciting because this means you can build custom integrations to link your Jira workflows with other systems. Or you can write custom logic to validate that issue fields are filled out correctly before being added to the backlog. You can even integrate artificial intelligence into your workflows to boost productivity. If you'd like to take a deeper dive into the improving workflow automations. We did a session a while back called Supercharging Jira Workflows with Forge by my teammate Tim Patterson. I highly recommend to check it out. If all of you are already not aware, there in YouTube you can find a channel called Atlassian Developers, and you can find a lot of content on high level technical deep dive, Forge related content, training, workshops, all of in there. Me and my team, Atlassian, everybody has been working hard to put more and more content out there. So I would recommend to subscribe to this channel if you want to stay updated. All right. So we just looked at two use cases. One benefited the customers and another benefited the support agents. Now in this last use case, we'll see how the support team manager could benefit. So imagine there is a manager whose goal is to do analysis of issues and get insights on recurring basis. Here, we are going to look at how the solution could look like. Suppose we have a Forge app. First thing we would like to do is get tickets of a particular week. We can get details of tickets by calling REST APIs. There are plenty of ways to do this, like using JQL expression. In this solution, we could leverage AI, more specifically ChatGPT, for analysis. For that, we would add a prompt like, what type of issues occurred the most? Asking GPT what results would we want. We would pass that with the ticket details, which would give context to AI to do the asked operation. All this information is passed to GPT by making external API call, which is one of the features of Forge. We would get trend analysis and insights as result. It could be in any format that you specify in your prompt. It could be text or JSON data. With those results, you could do multiple things like create a report or a dashboard. One of the modules that you have access to for this purpose is called Jira Dashboard Gadget, which would be finally rendered by Forge app inside your JSM Cloud instance. We just saw how a support team manager could leverage a solution that helps identify trends and similarities in the issues reported. Based on these insights, the manager could coordinate with teams to resolve delays and develop standardized responses for common queries. All these strategic actions that came out of these solutions could not only improve response time, but also reduce recurring issues, enhancing overall customer satisfaction, and streamline the team's workflow. Before we jump into the demo, let's take a quick look at what do you need to get started with building these customizations. Since Forge only supports JavaScript, having a JavaScript knowledge is a requirement. You don't have to be an expert, as you can easily get started with even basic knowledge. If you are comfortable with navigating Atlassian products, that's great, as it will give you ideas of what product you would like to customize and how. Lastly, you would need the Forge SDK to get started, which is a single command mentioned here, and you're ready to go. Now, let's take a deeper dive into one of these solutions. Remember the example where we brought in community questions into JSM portal? We are going to look at its architecture and a bit of code. Here's a live demo of the app. Let's say we have a customer who is filling up the issue details. Once they submit the ticket, you can see in the side panel of the portal, a new section appears called Related Community Questions, with a list of top 5 related questions to one opened here. Let's take a quick look at the flow diagram for this solution. Sorry, just a quick check. I just forgot to just realize that my video was turned off. Were you able to see the demo video in the slides?
Yes.
All right, cool. Okay, let's proceed. So our forge function first gets the issue details, including issue key, summary, and description. In this example, let's leverage AI. We pass on these issue details to ChatGPT along with a prompt like, give me a keywords. The function gets back the keywords. And let's assume you have a community forum which comes with APIs. For example, Discourse. We would make an API call along with the keywords that we get, with keywords to get the similar questions. Then we would render these questions inside JSM portal. All right, let's take a look at the code. We will first begin by looking at the manifest file of our Forge app. Manifest file is the place where we define the structure of our app. Here you can see a UI module called Jira Service Management portal request detail panel, and that adds a side panel to the JSM portal like we saw before. Below that, you have a function. We have defined functions, which is this one, that will be triggered when this module is rendered. Here you see that the UI module targets a specific location in the portal. Now, after defining the UI modules, we have specified something called permissions. Our app is going to make a product API call, which in this case is get issue details. And to be able to do that, we have to give this app the permission to do so. And we do that by defining the scopes and permissions. This lets your app make API calls in a secure way so that you don't have to worry about authentication and authorization. Lastly, we are defining a couple of external APIs. As we saw in the flow diagram previously, we are making API calls to ChatGPT and community APIs. We define them here to let the app know that those API calls are allowed, and hence adding another layer of security. Now we are going to take a look at some backend code. Inside the resolvers folder, we have a file index.js. So in this file, we begin by importing the packages needed at the top. Now, the first thing that we are going to do is see get issue details function. Inside this function, we are first getting the issue key, and using that, we are making a product API call. And what we are trying to do is get the summary and description of the issue. Now, once we have that information, we are making external API call to ChatGPT via a function called get keywords. In this function, you can see a prompt saying extract keywords from below details. Now, once we have the keywords, we pass it to the last step of the backend functionality, which is to get community questions. Here, we are making a very simple API call where we are passing the keywords to the search API call of the community forum. And from this, we get a list of questions along with their URLs. And at the bottom, I have added some of the helper functions that you are used throughout this file for for cleaning up the data, making the API call to ChatGPT, and stuff like that. So we took care of the backend. Now let's update the front end. We go into the JSX file in front end folder. So the first thing that we do is import the libraries needed to render UI components. And then we are invoking previously created functions, one after the other as per the sequence in the flow diagram. Once we have the questions, we loop through it and render it appropriately using the Forge UI components. And that's pretty much what the whole app is. And don't worry, you will get the source code of that app at the end of this presentation. Now, you might be wondering, that's cool. What all areas of Jira Service Management can be customized? So glad you asked. We already took a look at how you can customize service desk portals, and using multiple extension points you have access to, you can refine your portal to enhance customer experience. If you have worked with a knowledge base in JSM, you might be aware that these articles come from Confluence. If you would like to build a custom Confluence app, that is definitely possible. Or you could build your own custom solutions that could give actionable insights on how you can improve your existing knowledge base. JSM has another product in its portfolio called Assets. With that, you can import all sorts of assets data like IT hardware, software, HR information, business processes, etc., and consolidate it together in Jira, making it a centralized place for all organizations' work. This will make managing assets much more efficient. Lastly, since JSM is built over Jira, any feature that is available in Jira and is extensible can also be customized in JSM. So one example here in the screenshot is the issue page. Since it's available both in Jira and JSM, you don't have to create a separate app for each product if it interacts with your issue page. We looked at only a couple of capabilities of Forge like function, UI extension points, and remote APIs. But there are many more, which will enable you to build all the functionalities you can think of. If you build an app that solves a problem for you and your team, chances are it could solve problems for thousands of other teams. And you can distribute your app by publishing it in the Atlassian marketplace. Here you can see we have over 6,000 apps across all the Atlassian products, covering a variety of use cases like monitoring, customer support, and ITSM. Now, majority of our customers rely heavily on those apps. Over 70% of Jira Software and Confluence Cloud Software customers use at least one marketplace app. Another fascinating number is the size of our developer community. That's over 17,000 people who are actively sharing solutions and discussing the best ways to build Atlassian apps. If you need any kind of help in building your app, you should definitely check out our developer community forum. And all of that adds up a lot of transaction activity. In January 2024, Atlassian's marketplace surpassed $4 billion in lifetime sales. Now, you might be thinking that with numbers like 6,000 apps and billions in app sales, that everything has been already built. But let me assure you, that's just not the case. When you dig into the origin story of some of those apps that are flourishing in the marketplace, you will hear about how the developer just built a little hack or an app to make their app work a little bit easier, to solve their own problem, to make Jira or Confluence experience just work better for them. So that's what it really comes down to: customer value. And all of the resources mentioned in this talk can be found here at this link. You will find the links to sample codes, guides, tutorials, and talks all at this one place. So I'm going to pause here just for you guys to get this link, scan the QR code, and that's pretty much it. And I'm here happy to take some questions from here. I'm going to also share this link in the chat, and I'll get back to the question and answers. Awesome. Thank you, Joseph. Glad you all liked it. Michael?
Thank you so much, Anmol. That was a quite interesting presentation for the audience. I had a question actually around Forge. Do you normally get requests from customers who are looking for developers to build specific applications for their workflow, or is it purely marketplace oriented?
Okay, so We get we see like all sorts of like customers. One is the marketplace partners is definitely. Then the second one that there are some people or company who build solutions just for the company and sell them directly without publishing it in the marketplace, and that is also totally acceptable. And the third case you can think of is, let's say, Michael, you have your own company and you want to build app for just for your own company that needs to be used internally. Even that is also possible. So all the three ways are all good.
Yeah, say I'm a dev shop and I wanted to provide this service. How do I go about it?
Just a second, I'll quickly share the link here in the chat. All right. Yes. Sorry, Michael, can you repeat the question?
No, I'm asking if I was a dev shop and I wanted to tap into the request that comes from the customer to do certain features on my workflow, how do I go about that?
Okay. So like actually you all already saw this process live in this presentation. So the third use case that I talked about, where was like how to like do the analytics or even the bringing in the community questions inside the portal. So the most important thing is understanding what the customer problem is, what solution are they looking for, and then from there try to break it down in parts, like what are the different stages, what are the data that's needed, then how the data needs to flow between different parts of this whole solution. So once you have the understanding of all of that, and that's where the majority of the work and the time goes, after that writing code, building the solution becomes much easier. So most of the time should usually be spent interacting with the customer, understanding their problem, their challenges, and what all data do they already have, and from that you can come up with solutions.
Okay, thanks.
Steve dong tech. Okay, don't join meeting. Yeah. Technology. JavaScript. Do we JavaScript?
Brighton Onyango.
Yes.
We can hear you getting excited. What is the question?
Nah, I was just excited. I'm just excited because I finally managed to join.
Okay, go ahead. And it sounds like you have a few friends around there.
Yeah, I was asking my friend if he is willing to join the meeting.
Okay. Tell them feel free to join. And I see there is a question on the chat, Anmol.
Just a second. All right. How does the development workflow in Forge differ from traditional web development? Good question. Okay. So when, let's say, okay, let's try to compare building a Forge app with, let's say you want to build an e-commerce website, like in web development. Let's take that example. Now, when you're building an e-commerce website, okay, the front end and the back end code, you already do that, but so building the code from scratch, that is one, but of course there are now frameworks which makes it easier. But then each of those different parts, there are a lot more tasks that needs to be done. First is you have to provision the servers, database, then all those different kind of services. So first is the provisioning part. Second one, so provisioning and deployment, that becomes a part. Second one is like you have to think about the security and security of the user's data. So there's authorization, authentication, making sure everything. So, and this is something, although it's little bit, it's hard, at least for the developers, you need maybe specialized skill or you need to spend more time to learn that part. But with Forge app, all of that has already been taken care of. So you don't have to think about at all the security. If you look at the tutorials, like I didn't get enough time to explain the code a little bit, but there's authentication and authorization was already inbuilt. It was just like using one method. So one is for building Forge app, it becomes very much easier. Second one is, let's say you built an app, e-commerce app. Now you have to like spread the word, do some marketing and create awareness. But let's say your app, you built a Forge app and it's pretty good and there's demand, or you can, even if you don't know if there is demand for an app or not, you can just publish in the marketplace. And the marketplace gives you an instant access to thousands of users who are using Atlassian Marketplace already, and everybody is installing the app, like the stats we saw. And maybe do a little bit of marketing after that to create awareness, but you instantly get access to the customers. So anything apart from that? But yeah, like overall means building a traditional web app versus the Forge app. Out of considering the use cases are different, because Forge is just for Atlassian products. Traditional web app you can build for anybody. Building Forge app is much faster. Hopefully I answered the question, that I tried to cover a lot of things there.
Yeah, Anwar, is that answered for you?
Awesome. Anybody else have any more questions?
Yes. Hello,
Yes,
can you
John.
hear me?
Yes, John, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so the only question I had was, and I asked Arya when you asked whether we've heard about Forge, it was, are there any plans to make Forge work with other frameworks other than React?
Other than React, okay. Before answering that, I will also share the link to our Atlassian Developer YouTube channel for everyone. If you want to find training videos, tutorials, and all that for later usage, feel free to share with your team. We are pushing out the content, so here's the YouTube channel. Coming back to John's question, yes, that is definitely possible. Now, what I was using in this code, the demo that I showed for building the UI is called UI Kit. Now, UI Kit is pretty much almost same as React, but there's, if you want to, instead of React, if you want to use some other UI library, Forge has a functionality called custom UI. So you can go through the documentation. I'll also give you the link for the documentation here in the, and inside that you can search for custom UI kit or custom UI, and that will show you, let's say you have using some other UI library and how to bring that inside the Forge app. You can do that using custom UI and you'll find it in the documentation. Another question. Are there any libraries or tools available to support integration of AI modules or AI models with Gemini, like Gemini with Forge for Atlassian, similar to how you integrated ChatGPT? Yes, means, so this ChatGPT thing that I showed in the demo, this is not coming from Atlassian, so that is important to note. You can use any AI API. So I just chose ChatGPT because it's popular. But just in the similar way, you can bring in the Gemini API and make the API call from the Forge app. So definitely possible. Any more questions? Is Llama or Meta AI ready? Michael, can you explain the question?
I mean, I'm just throwing a banter around. I just saw Meta release their AI module on the social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like ChatGPT is more has been more trained and more ready, followed by Gemini. But I don't feel like these other modules are quite there. So as much as you want to spin different AI APIs, you'd consider the ones that actually have been developed further.
Yes, a lot of changes are happening in the AI, like new models are coming very frequently. And Llama, when it came out, it was very popular. I'm sure like right now the work is still going on. It's a very competitive environment, all these AI models, definitely. But if you're asking like comparing the AI models, that is totally like a very different conversations. But if the question is we can integrate with Llama also, just like the Gemini questions, integration is possible with Forge. It is ready, sir. Yep. Alex said that it is quite good. So sorry, I haven't played with Llama, but I trust your answer, Alex.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anmol. Please find a clap emoji and please post that for Anmol for doing a very good presentation. By the way, guys, in Sydney, it's quite late right now. It's almost in the morning, early morning, and Anmol has stayed here with us. That's quite interesting. Please give a shout out to him.
And if you guys want to ask me questions or give any feedback, you can do that. Find me on LinkedIn, and you can share with me how you guys thought about it, and if you want to see something new in the future, yeah, feel free to ping me on LinkedIn.
Actually, we're gonna invite you again for a session in future, so that you can interact more. Because now, when we're here in person and you're online, there is more turnout, and if possible, you can be able to come all the way. By all means,
definitely. Cool.
Thank you so much.
Yes. On to you, Michael.
When was the last time you baked a cake? You probably started with a trip to the store to buy butter, eggs, and flour. Once you have your ingredients and your recipe, you're ready to make some magic. In today's video, we are going to talk about what you need to build a Forge app. When you download the Forge CLI, you'll already have all the ingredients, plus a few recipes or templates you need to get started. First things first, what is the Forge CLI? The Forge Command Line Interface, or CLI, allows you to create and manage your app from the command line. It's designed to get you up and running quickly and easily, even if you've never built an Atlassian app before. Every Forge app runs in Atlassian's cloud environment. If you're familiar with writing serverless functions using Lambda, using the Forge CLI to build an app will feel very familiar. The Forge CLI supports JavaScript and runs on Windows, macOS, and Linux. In fact, it's super easy to install, so you can get writing, running, and deploying your app code right away. So, why do we have it? Well, in the past, when a developer, just like you, wanted to build an app, they had to set up and manage all of the services you needed to run it, like the databases, message queues, load balancers, virtual machines, container orchestration, monitoring, and we are probably forgetting a few. In comparison, we like to make building a cloud app as easy as possible. There can be a lot of decisions to make before you ever even write a line of code. We want to lower the barriers standing between you and building something awesome right away. The Forge CLI creates all of these backend services for you automatically. leaving you with more time and headspace to focus on the thing that really matters, building your app. Forge is also configured to work seamlessly with Atlassian products and services, so you never have to waste time hooking things up under the hood. It provides easy methods for authentication, processing events, and building UIs. You can also be sure that your backend is configured securely to protect customer data in Atlassian's secure environment. In addition, Forge also automatically keeps the data and operations of one person using your app separate from your other customers, a concept known as tenant isolation. The Atlassian docs can walk you through installing the Forge CLI, but it's so fast that we can cover the process super quickly. To use the Forge CLI, you'll need to have installed the latest stable version of Docker and Node.js. Then simply type npm install -g at forge/CLI. Once installed, the Forge CLI comes with a bunch of useful commands to help you build and manage your app, and you can get started right away. Once you've installed the Forge CLI, you can create everything you need to run an Atlassian app by running a single command: Forge create. When you run Forge create, it automatically builds 3 environments for you: development, staging, and production. Environments are where you deploy your app. So you deploy the app to one of these environments by running Forge deploy. Once an app is running in an environment, you can then install it from that environment onto an Atlassian site using the command forge install. Want to see under the hood of your app? No problem. Running Forge logs will show all your app logs, and you can configure it to show you more or less information in the logs, whatever you need just in that moment. You can always go back and review the logs. Another useful Forge feature is tunneling. Tunneling runs your app code locally on your machine via the Forge CLI and Docker. It's super useful for debugging and means you can make quick changes and see how they look in real time without having to redeploy after each one. And how do you do it? That's right, just a single command: Forge tunnel. Forge CLI is waiting for you. We can't wait to see what you build with it. Now you are a CLI expert. Use it to skip the setup and go straight to writing code. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for our next Forging 5 episode on manifests and modules.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. So this is another interesting session where we're gonna select some winners, and then feel free to network through the chat as we select the winners for today's giveaway. That is, we have 10 Atlassian certification tickets. Once you get these tickets, you should be able to do the certification complimentary. That means you don't have to pay anything. Remember also, thank you so much, Anmol, and please, thank you so much. Yeah, give it out for Anmol as, yeah, you need to rest. Yeah, he's been with us
Okay.
for a long time. Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye. Yeah, so we want to select some winners, and we have all your names here. We're going to run a raffle for the 20 guys, actually. 10 for the gift card and 10 for the certification. I don't know if you're ready, guys. Can you unmute and say if you're ready or not? You know, so you can spin the wheel. Very nice, very nice, very nice. So for the first one, let me run that. Okay, I don't know if you can see the wheel. There it is. And can you see the other section? Let me try and extend this so that you can see. Perfect. So you'll see all the winners. So 1, 2, go. Las Vegas experience. Jacob Ila, is he around here? Jacob or Jacob? No? No, yes. You're not sure? You can comment on the chat, or you can just say, unmute and say you're here. Alex, not to worry. So we'll spin again. I would love to reward guys who have stayed with us here until the end. So let's see. Gloria. Gloria. No, Gloria, okay. Yeah, man, Major, I think there are over 286 people, so you can imagine the chances. Naomi,